Hello everyone, it's Flammer back again with a new video in a apparently very colorful Minecraft. I want to show you a new thing I'm working on because I got bored with Traincraft and Project Cars. Actually, I did some progress on Project Trains, but let me show you something I started working on recently. Okay. Haha, do you see this? Do you know what it is? It's MegaBlocks. I'm not sure this will be a new series on the channel or just something I'll be working on just for fun. I'm not sure if it's worth for a series. You can write in comments if you want to see more episodes of this. I just show it, but I'm not sure if it's good for series. Java update. Wow, nice. I don't care. Okay, let's start with a grass block. As you can see, I tried to. Let me explain first. I'm building blocks from. I'm on 1.7, the same mod pack that I'm using for a Traincraft NES map. I'm trying to build only with blocks available in vanilla Minecraft in 1.7. The amount of blocks is quite limited. Of course, not that bad as in Minecraft Beta. Minecraft Beta had horrible block limitations. But I also built blocks that are not exclusive for Minecraft Vanilla. I sometimes build blocks like from other mods, as you will see later. Okay, so let's start with grass block. I tried to add some 3Dness to that block. Doesn't always work, as you will see on a cobblestone, but grass block looks amazing. Then we have a dirt block, which is just the same texture as grass block. Then we have stone, which I have horrible problem with trying to find right colors to represent the 4 shades of gray that stone is using. Stone is using only 4 shades of gray. So I decided to go with stained clay. Then for the lighter color, cobblestone, then stone, and then light gray wool. I think it looks okay. Then we have a lot of ores. Actually, except for emerald, I have all the ores here. So diamonds, as you can see, again some 3Dness. So it's like a little bit inside. Redstone. I'm not a fan of the red wool, but I didn't know what else I can use. No, there was no fitting color. Oh, excuse me. Nice. Okay, we have shiny gold, iron here. Yeah, 2 colors of clay, of course. Coal is mixed. Wool with coal blocks. Then we have glass, which looks horribly weird because when you look at the glass block, the texture from inside is invisible, so you don't see the cracks that are on this side. You don't see them on this side, but of course it's impossible to do with blocks, so you can see cracks that are all over the glass, even on the other side, making it look weird. Okay, cobblestone. Yeah, cobblestone was a huge problem for me because Well, obviously, what you have here, the darker lines are cracks, deep cracks, and there's are like smaller rocks that make up cobblestone. I wanted to make it look 3D, but it ended up looking horrible, to be honest. Made the sides and then deepened the dark gray a little bit, but it looks horrible. I also tried to get rid only of the gray wool on the edges, like this, but no, it still looked horrible, so I just stayed with a full 16 by 16 cube. Okay, we have rails, which are... I can zoom out the map so you can see the blocks from the top. Rails were fun to build. Curved tracks as well. Booster track with gold and shiny. And a minecart. I gave wheels to the minecart. As you can see, the minecart has like a half of a wheel drawn on a texture, but I decided to make it a full wheel. And it fits exactly, so it goes on a darker side of the rail. So it goes on this. The wheels will go on this dark side of the wheel of the rail. The inside texture was horrible to make, very hard. But I kind of represented it, I think, well. Yeah, it's a kind of thing. We also have a lever. Here. Oh, I know what I wanted to do. Okay, let's do it later. We have a straight piece of redstone. Of course, sorry for the yellow carpets, but it has to be like this, so it's not just a redstone dot. Okay, so the recording program software broke. Nice. Let's carry on. I went back. We have a wooden log here. As you can see, it's a bit 3D. Just one block deep. It's also the same on the bottom. That's it. I think the contrast between the darker part and the brighter part is a bit too much, but I couldn't really find a block in between. Wooden planks. Yeah, the thing is, compromises again, because if you look closely, the darker part, the dent here, yeah, also tried to make it one block deep, but it's again, it looked horrible, so I again left it as a 16 by 16 cube, just like that. It goes, the darker part goes all the way to the edge, and then there's another texture. The thing is, you cannot do this in Minecraft. It's simply impossible, because if you want, you can't have a dark wood texture here and the light wood, the oak wood texture here, because it's one block. So compromises. It has to. The texture on the top can only be 14 by 14, and the edge texture is always the texture of the side. But what can you do? Okay, so this is the modded thing. I use carpenter doors because, yeah, let's be honest, they look much better than the Minecraft wooden door. Much better. So again, 3Dness, glass, and handle on both sides. Nothing really special. Bookshelves, more compromises being made. Because if you look at the texture, it's a flat texture, 2D, you know. If you look at this cyan book, for example, here, it would have to only be one block white, so the red book could fit, or the other way, the red book would have to be one block white, so the blue one could fit. And that, no, this couldn't be good, so I decided, let's have just an oak plank texture here, and the books would only be on 2 sides, because I think that's much better, making the books 3D than having them on 4 sides. The whole meaning of this is to make blocks more 3D, or what I imagine the blocks would be. So you can see I remade the books that are in the actual block. I remade them here. I used some blocks, for example, for texture, or like here, like it's some text, or here some image, just to make them look a little bit more interesting, a little bit like they're actually books. I like that block. It's really cool. On the other side, we have a block that I don't like at all. A bacon, or whatever it's called. The problem with this one being it has a specific texture. It's like a gradient from a very bright light blue to a diamond colored cyan, even darker colored cyan. In Minecraft you only have one cyan block texture. It's a diamond. Also you have, there's also the cyan wool, but it's horribly dark. And you cannot make the gradient, because if you look, for example, this is like blue, like a real blue, sky blue. And this is greenish blue, the kind of color. And making gradient with this just doesn't look good, so I had to make it on 2 colored, and it doesn't look that good. But again, there's some things you have to, let's say, sacrifice so the others can work. For the obsidian texture, I used obsidian and blue clay and some coal in the darkest spots, like you can see the darker lines. Lapis lazuli, another ore, nothing that interesting. Another stone texture with some dents of blue, of lapis lazuli blocks and dark blue wool. Now this is one of my favorite blocks, I would say, because the pillar, you look, it doesn't look that good as a block. It looks kind of cubic, like you would expect of Minecraft. But when you add 3Dness to it, oh, then it looks amazing. Look at this, the lines, the rings here. I love how this one turned out. I'm a big fan of it, I have to say. I just love it. But it's not much, but it's one of my favorites anyway. Craft bench or crafting table, workbench. I mean workbench or crafting table, or whatever you are used to calling this. Nice 3Dness again. The tools are like, look there, like they are hanging on here. I used the pillar to represent the teeth of saw, teeth of the saw. The axe or hammer probably hanging here. And of course the scissors, whatever this is. I use again the pillar to represent like the middle section, the cross section of the 2 sides. And I use stairs here. Ooh, scary noises. I use stairs here to make them look like they're a bit more sharp, a bit sharper. And the piece of material that's on the top of the crafting table is also 3D, with 1 block deeper in the places you put your items in. I like the crafting table. Now again, what I don't like is the texture of furnace, because let's go to the slab. The recording software broke again. I don't know why. Anyway, let's move to the slab. Let's do it quickly because before it breaks again. As you can see, the texture of slab is much lighter than the texture of stone. So I had to like go one level back. So everything that on stone is like cobble, it had to be turned to stone. Stone had to be turned to wool, and then wool had to be turned into something lighter. But there really isn't anything lighter than a, in grayscale, than a light wool. Next thing would be white. For example, white wool or quartz. The only thing I found between was iron block. It's just a tiny bit darker than a quartz, like a little bit into a bluish gray color. But it doesn't look good because of its squarish texture with the something this around. But compromises again had to be made. I couldn't really think of anything better. But yes, so because furnace uses the texture of slab, it's again it doesn't look that good. But what does look good is here inside. I made a flame using stained glass, like some people do. It looks just amazing, and the fact that when you move, the textures go crazy, because of Minecraft has a really big problem rendering transparent textures, and it looks like the flame is really moving. I put some coal blocks to represent the coal that is burning, and the sides are using dark blocks, so they look like they're smoked a bit. And here on the grill you can put some steak or an ore to melt, or an ore. And I really like the interior of the furnace. I'm not a fan of exterior, the texture. Grass, using lime wool. It kind of looks like an alpha color. I mean, alpha didn't have this grass, but it had grass block, and the grass block is also using lime wool, so it kind of looks alpha. The chest is okay, but if you look at the texture of the chest, it's like slightly orangish, and it's somewhere between the orange of a chacha wood and the not orange of oak wood. But when I tried to make it a chacha, it looked horrible. So I just used oak wood, and it's not that orange, not that chest-like, but I think it's good. It has like a little shine here on the lock. Okay, and moving to my favorite one, a note block. Because if you notice, note block placed in the air makes the sound of piano. And I decided to recreate that. The mechanism. I'm a big fan of making. I once did like a piston and the jukebox inner working. I like to recreate the inner workings of everything and think how things might work. So I made it here. Like there's of course the strings, like the things that are placed in a piano, strings on piece of metal. And I have like two rails going up here and down here, and like a screw shaft. Let's call it a screw shaft. So here, oh, a lag. When you see here, there's like a hole. You put like a key here or something, and when you turn it, it's the equivalent of right-clicking the note block. It's turning the shaft, so it's moving this whole block up and down the rails. And here you can see redstone going in 4 directions, because you can connect redstone to the note block, meaning that when redstone is sent here, it moves it powers the like little motor that will be here, electric motor, and the motor moves the hammer, which punches the strings, and it makes the sound of piano. And that's how I imagine the note block works inside this little one by one block. How it functions. I like imagining things. And also added a little note on the top. Okay, but unfortunately that's all I have today for today's video. So, comment, more importantly comment, subscribe, and stay tuned for more videos on my channel. Goodbye!